What is going on, everybody? Welcome to a prediction edition of Windy City Wrestling Talk. I am Mike Mercado, and it is finally upon us, guys. It is the eve of Night of Champions. We have a whole card to get through really quickly. We're going to give you our predictions that no doubt are going to go wrong because, that is what we do here. I am Mike Mercado. Thank you for joining us. Follow us on Twitter at Windy City Wrestling Talk. That's at WC Wrestling Talk on Twitter, or like us on Facebook at Windy City Wrestling Talk. You can follow me specifically at mmercado2333. So, Night of Champions, it is finally here, and it has been built up as Lesnar versus Cena 2. Really, it's Lesnar versus Cena 3, but it's the second time, the rubber match of this series for the WWE World Heavyweight title. It is the most important story that is going on right now on television when it comes to professional wrestling. That's not even a question. WWE has made it perfectly clear that this pay-per-view specifically is John Cena, Brock Lesnar, and starring or co-starring these other guys, these other matches. But we don't ignore them here at Windy City Wrestling Talk, so let's get right into it. Before we start the first match, actually, breaking news coming into us earlier on today, reported by Bleacher Report, confirmed, WWE.com, Roman Reigns has had hernia surgery. They're calling it incarcerated hernia. No timetable when he comes back. Obviously, this means that chances are his match with Seth Rollins at Night of Champions will be axed. So if that's the case, you give the win to Seth Rollins. But be on the lookout, guys. I've been saying this for almost a week now. The timetable fits. Dean Ambrose should be making his appearance soon to WWE television. Can this be the night? Is it perfect timing since Roman Reigns has gotten injured? Keep an eye on that. Chris Jericho versus Randy Orton. I think this is probably one of the easier matches to guess. Chris Jericho is on his way to tour with Fozzy. They're having really good success with this their latest CD. So Randy Orton trying to find some footing after a very stagnant last few months. Look for him to probably punt Chris Jericho in the head and move on of Night of Champions with the rivalry, and we will see Chris Jericho probably again at Royal Rumble, maybe WrestleMania time. Mark Henry versus Rusev, United States versus Russia. This is going on again. It was Swagger. They built him up. Couldn't quite do it with Rusev. I think the same thing happens here. Mark Henry getting a nice push. Mark Henry always getting the very nice Mark Henry push. Will not do anything with it storyline-wise, and Rusev will continue on this streak that he's on and will continue as the top foreign heel in the WWE. Tag team title time. We're finally going to get into some gold talk. The Usos versus Goldust and Stardust. I was there the night the Usos won the title here in Chicago, and I think it is time. I think Goldust and Stardust, Cody Rhodes, have done a great job of selling and becoming these new heels in this storyline and in this roster. Here is where it gets interesting, though. Can they take the titles away from them if it seems like the Ascension is on their way up? They just dropped the title on NXT TakeOver. So it's an interesting perspective. Do you really want to get rid of the Usos as champions when you're going to need a babyface to take on the Ascension, which is going to be the top heels in that division? So it's something to look into. It. I'm going to go with Goldust and Stardust, those to take the titles and eventually start this whole three-way rivalry with the Ascension at some point. It is a triple threat Divas title match. Paige, the champion, versus AJ Lee versus Nikki Bella. One of these three does not belong. AJ Lee and Paige are the two best performing divas in the company right now, right? Or at least on the main roster. The Nikki Bella, Brie Bella story has not only jumped the shark, it has gone way above and beyond ridiculousness. I mean, it is crazy. Jerry Springer show. It belonged on the Jerry Springer show. Nonetheless, though, look for Brie Bella to interfere the same way Nikki did in her match at SummerSlam. And I'm going to go with AJ Lee as your champion at Night of Champions and eventually starting a rivalry with Stephanie McMahon. The United States title match, some great talent in this match. Cesaro, Sheamus. Hard-hitting, something I've been waiting for. These two guys always put on great matches. I think it's time for Cesaro. I think his push was shut down a little bit because there's other guys ready to go on the top of the list. But I think the Sheamus title run with the U.S. title has been very stagnant at best. And having these two guys trade wins, trade titles, it legitimizes the title, at least to my opinion. And I'm going to go with Cesaro becoming your new United States champion. And in the other mid-card title, the Intercontinental Championship, Dolph Ziggler versus The Miz. Dolph Ziggler coming in as champion. Dolph Ziggler winning the title this past SummerSlam to The Miz. I think Dolph Ziggler actually leaves this night as Intercontinental Champion. And look out, rumor has it, look out, Bray Wyatt to make an appearance on this pay-per-view and maybe interfere in that match. Maybe time to go after the Intercontinental Champion. Book it, Dolph Ziggler will win and keep his IC title. But now, it is the main event. the leader of the C Nation, the Beast Incarnate, 21-1, hustle, loyalty, and respect, 15 world titles. Ladies and gentlemen, Brock Lesnar, John Cena, Night of Champions, main event. I am going with Brock Lesnar. It makes all the sense in the world for him to get the title, to him to retain the title, I should say. And of course, making John Cena look like such a strong babyface, changing up his look, even dramatic, that little with the black shorts, and making him come out a little bit more ruthless, a little bit more aggressive. It's enough of a story change to make you might believe John Cena might actually pull off a W. But look out, the man behind the 1 in 21-1, Paul Heyman's guy, Brock Lesnar, will come out of Night of Champions, WWE World Heavyweight Champion, and no, Seth Rollins will not cash in Money in the Bank that night. So quick recap. Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins looks to be scratched. Roman Reigns just having hernia surgery. Look for Dean Ambrose to maybe come back early, a little earlier than expected. Should be interesting. Chris Jericho, Randy Orton. Chris Jericho going away to Toro Fozzy. I got Randy Orton. Mark Henry versus Rusev. I think they're going to keep the streak going hot for Rusev. He's the hottest heel right now, especially a foreign heel. Look for Rusev to win. Usos versus Goldust. Look for Goldust and Stardust to take the WWE Tag Team titles. Paige, AJ, and Nikki in a triple threat match for the Divas title. Look for Chicago's new daughter, AJ Lee, to take the title. Sheamus versus Cesaro. I'm going to go with the Swiss Superman Cesaro taking the title and starting another rivalry with Sheamus, a best out of 3 for the title. Dolph Ziggler versus The Miz. Look for Dolph Ziggler to win, and possibly a Bray Wyatt interference in that match to start a new rivalry. And of course, Brock Lesnar, John Cena, WWE World Heavyweight title. I got the Beast Incarnate, Brock Lesnar, coming out with another win over John Cena. Disagreed with my picks? Like my picks? Want to talk more wrestling? Follow me on Twitter at WC Wrestling Talk. You can follow me at mmercado2333. Like us on Facebook at Windy City Wrestling Talk. Thank you for joining us on a prediction edition of Windy City Wrestling Talk. Enjoy Night of Champions.